This is Justin Case of American Newscape, joining our friend and mentor Joyce Rockwood, sharing the path to digestive health and overall vitality. Greetings, Joyce. Welcome back to American Newscape.
Hey, it's 2021. I'm glad to be back. How are
It's
you?
good. 2021 and we made it. Okay. Why do people eat healthy food and feel sick? Talk about that, Joyce. Healthy food makes some people.
Yeah, this is a common experience, I think, for a lot of people who are unfamiliar with the digestive system, with the detoxification process, what it really looks like to properly nourish their bodies, the timetable for all these things, and what it can look like to rejuvenate on a deep cellular level. So my goal today is to speak into those who might be struggling with this very specific thing, trying to eat healthy, getting some unwanted responses, and helping you understand that it's really not the healthy food that's making you sick, right? It might be making you feel sick, but it's not making you sick, right? That doesn't even make any sense logically. If we're eating healthy food, the whole purpose of eating healthier foods is to make us feel better, to properly nourish our bodies, to heal on a cellular level from the inside out. And so, there's probably some kind of misinterpretation there about that process, about what it is to get healthy. It's kind of like, if you go to the gym and you haven't been to the gym in a few weeks, a few months, a year for some of you out there. And the first day back, you kind of get excited and you're lifting a lot of weights, you're doing a lot of cardio, you're doing some extra stretching, and the next day you're pretty much like bedridden. You can't move. You can't even lift your arms above your head. You're like, oh my God, what's going on? It doesn't mean that exercise and fitness is damaging your body or hurting you in any way, shape, or form. You probably just overdid it, right? And so let's try to break this down for a moment, right? Let's understand and try to interpret what the detoxification process can look like and how we can navigate those waters a little better today. So the first thing is, let's acknowledge where we all came from, right? Even myself, who's pretty much a raw food vegan these days and have been practicing that for like the last 25 years, I didn't grow up eating that way. I certainly had wholesome and homemade foods and meals. My mom is an amazing cook. But, there was Chips Ahoy and Devil Dogs and extra crispy KFC and McDonald's thrown into all of the healthy stuff in between. And so we have to really consider what we consumed years gone by, aside from what we might be doing now. A lot of times people start eating healthy and they expect these results to just be rolling right in immediately. And for some people that can happen. But for other people, the process might be a little different, might look and feel a little different. So considering our health history is extremely important. I just spoke with a couple over the weekend who was a 19-month-old baby, and the mom grew up eating a hella diet. I mean, scraps of fast food, soda, rationed, junk food and things like this because they grew up very much in poverty. Mom working 3 jobs, barely home, single mom. There weren't vegetables around. So the palate, of this young woman, or when she was a kid, she's now in her 40s. When we're trying to develop our palate at an early age, it doesn't happen if we're eating, junk food and processed foods and foods that are far from nourishing. Then by the time we get into our 30s and 40s, it's like we aren't really craving healthy foods. And the thought of eating string beans and sauteed broccoli is probably not top on the list. So how did growing up affect the microbiome of that, individual, of that baby? How does the microbiome of an individual like the mom I spoke to over the weekend affect the offspring of her 19-month-old? There's a direct connection between the two, especially if someone is, having a C-section. Because, when the fetus drops into the birth canal, the microbiome is the first coating at that point for the fetus. And so if the baby's born through C-section, unfortunately, that doesn't happen. So there's a lot of compromised situations with those kinds of variables. So, those are some of the basic things. How is that affecting our ability to process food now when we're eating food, even if it is healthier? Do we have digestive enzymes? Do we have metabolic enzymes to break these things down? Are the foods we're eating even loaded with digestive enzymes? We're lacking so much from our soil these days. How are these issues affecting our sleep? How are these things affecting our cellular function? How are these dormant poisons being affected when we eat healthier foods? So let's talk about that. So I'm working with someone right now who has a long health history of chemotherapy and cancer, and eating even just a small salad has created a lot of diarrhea and a lot of very uncomfortable gas and bloating and just intestinal pain. And so, we're breaking that down. If we're trying to understand what's happening, the healthier foods are like easy off oven cleaner in the intestines, quite honestly. Those healthier foods are like soap. They address the accumulation and the unwanted poisons that are buried in the tissue, and they serve to loosen up those poisons so that we can eliminate them. Now, ideally, eating that healthier food and creating the beginnings of that detoxification process should feel good. It should feel energizing. It should feel liberating. But if someone's body is in such a dire state that even eating a small amount of raw food is creating this much of a negative or unwanted response, it's not really a negative response, quite honestly. It's a cleansing response, but it is an unwanted response. Then what do we do to support the individual so they can continue on their healing path, but make it more manageable? So if you're someone who has a really hard time eating raw salads, meaning lettuce and red peppers and cucumbers, grated carrots and things of that nature, or raw fruit, then what I'm doing with this individual right now is I'm just backing off of the salads, and I'm saying, like, you like red peppers? Cut up a red pepper, cut up a bunch of them, have them for a few days in a Tupperware in the refrigerator. And before you eat the cooked entree, just grab a few slices of that red pepper and eat that first, because even just getting a small amount of raw, natural, healthy enzymes in the body first before the cooked food is enough to trigger a slight cleansing response for this person and make it more manageable. So there's not so much gas loosening up, not so much waste loosening up that doesn't leave the body in a formed way. And so that is one of the easiest ways to kind of slow the process down in a way where you can still take steps forward. The other way to support someone in still getting some nourishment and enzymes, minerals, and vitamins into the system of the raw kind is to make a blended salad. That works really, really well, because when we blend the food up, and it could be some avocado, the red peppers, maybe a leaf or two of romaine lettuce, a little small handful of spinach, you're just making a blended salad. It's kind of like pre-digesting the food and breaking it down into the most microscopic components so that the body can easily absorb that and digest that. And it's a small amount, so it won't loosen up too much of the dormant poisons and create an unwanted response. And then sometimes we take the raw food out completely for some people who it, just doesn't work right away. And then we work with some of the healthier plant-based options in proper combinations, get them to the next level for a week or two, and then bring in the raw food very, very slowly. So just to understand, when you eat healthy food, if you're getting an unwanted response, it doesn't mean that the healthy food is making you sick. It does mean that your body is probably really in need of some proper support with detoxification, and really having proper steps to do that is something that I'm very skilled in and love carrying people through.
It's interesting you talk about the raw peppers before you eat your entree. As we grew up in the restaurants, they would bring you what was called a garnish tray, and it was carrot sticks, those peppers and olives, and they were trying to get going in the right direction. What a simple idea before we eat dinner, even as a family. Let's sit down with a garnish plate and just chit chat over as we gnaw on some carrots and gnaw on some peppers.
Right.
Wouldn't we be in a lot better shape? And you talk about metabolic. In my experience, and I want everybody to understand, I'm not a vegan. When I drive by a field of cattle, they run to the other side of the. But having had dramatic diet shifts when I was an athlete, those were very, very taxing on the metabolism as I transitioned from one diet to another. They were exhausting. And then in a few, 48, 72 hours, then everything would normalize and I would be off and running on that new diet. So, do I need to eat less meat? Absolutely. But one thing I can easily try is that garnish plate prior to
Yeah.
eating. I mean, what a just a fun experience. We grew up like that. Granted they brought us bread and butter, but
Right. That was always the start at
yeah,
all the family meals I went to as well, right? I mean,
yeah,
how many baskets would you go through before the actual salads even came? It's like, oh,
yeah. Well,
now we
but
got all that starch in our gut.
so okay. So I'm gonna focus on garnishing. I'm gonna let you get back to what.
Yeah, and I always say eat the rainbow. So red peppers one time, yellow peppers another, orange, right? You can play around with that, have fun with it. Some celery stalks, maybe some fennel, and some sliced portobello mushrooms. Like, make it fun. Maybe some fresh basil or fresh parsley as a little garnish on top of the fennel and shaved portobellos. Doesn't have to be the same thing all the time. Some of us are creatures of habit, like me, but try to want to, diversify the plants on the plate.
Oh, that's cool, Joyce. What are some of the common issues people might initially experience when they're trying to shift their diets a bit?
Yeah, let's talk about the unwanted responses first
Okay.
and what we really are aiming for. So, if you shift too quickly for where you're at in terms of your health history, then sometimes you can experience a lot of gas, bloating, cramping, pain. Some people get constipated, some people get diarrhea. Some people get really gassy and start burping. Some people start feeling really moody because they might not be eating the foods that they think are, really emotionally gratifying. So we probably want to figure out a way to transition you in a way that's appropriate for who you are and where you came from and where you want to go. And, if that's happening, then there's a link below. You can reach out to me and we can have a conversation around what it could look like to change things up. Because the goal really is, if you're eating healthier food, is to start feeling more energy, to start feeling more, uh, satisfied appetite wise, to feel like you don't need to eat all the time, feeling like your inclinations for healthy food are naturally occurring instead of feeling like I really want that coffee or that candy bar at 3. Then you start to realize, oh, I actually don't even feel like I need a snack because I actually feel good. Having better sleep, right? Waking up and feeling refreshed. Working with a woman right now is sleeping 9 hours and waking up feeling exhausted.
Wow.
What's going on, right? So, if during the time we're sleeping, when things are supposed to be going through dialysis, our blood is supposed to be getting cleansed, if there's a load or an abundance, an accumulation of toxins in the body, and in 9 hours we still can't clear it, that means when we wake up, we're still dealing with the onslaught, and it's like the batteries didn't get charged fully, right? So we ideally want to feel more independent, more self-sufficient. We want to see our skin looking radiant and clear. We want to have fresher breath, right? These are some of the cues that you should be able to experience when you're eating healthier food and just feeling happier, right?
Happy is good.
Less mood swings.
Less mood swings. Pro happy.
Yeah. So those would be those are some of the options, right? If you're not feeling right from eating healthy food, then probably want to reach out to me or someone and figure out how we could shift this in a way that feels good and healthy and doable, but a little stretchy for you.
Yeah, I don't think that can be stressed enough. You don't have to do this alone. Back when I was an athlete, I saw the doctor every 60 days. I saw the uh, dietitian once a month. And, that's where I got my initial awakening to diet, proper diet, especially athletic diets. And the is indeed right. So that is the step. The progressive step would be to reach out to somebody, reach out to a sibling, a parent,
Mhm.
your doctor, or somebody like Joyce, a coach, an actual coach that can help make this transition a little bit easier and take you through the process. Or, it's not necessarily a process as much as it's a journey.
Mm. Yeah, and I want to also say a lot of times people are reluctant to take the first step and reach out because they start thinking about all the things that they are not going to be able to eat. that they
Exactly.
think they want to continue eating. And when I speak to some people, I'm like, oh my God, is this what you've been putting yourself through? This is not what the process looks like at all. And it can be so much more enjoyable, pleasant. And they're actually variations of the things that you're eating now that are actually not working for you that you can incorporate. And they had no idea. I'm like, yeah, there are vegan chocolate chip cookies and they do taste amazing. There are dairy free and plant based and coconut milk based ice creams. And yeah, they do taste a little different, but as your palate changes, hey, the point of eating these things is that you're feeling better eating them versus the dairy based ones you're eating now that are not serving you anyway. So, allow yourself the opportunity to explore what the options could look like versus the ones that you think that you have to take. I mean, don't set yourself up for fail. We really want to help you to get there and get there with ease and grace.
Well, yeah, even simple modifications. When they started selling cauliflower pizzas in the grocery stores, and I started reading the labels. Oprah's cauliflower pizza was like 67% rice flour.
Yeah, they
So
get you on those labels.
so I started making it, and it took me a while, and actually I've made that shift.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like it as much as I used to enjoy those New York pizzas, but I feel better after I eat them, and I feel good about eating them, and I liked it. I never talked about, hey, I made a pizza today. Now I talk about, hey, guess what? I made a cauliflower pizza because I'm doing the right thing. I'm living the right style.
Exactly. And you mentioned that percentage. Even if the percentage of cauliflower is less than 50%, it's still more cauliflower than it was before than the other types of pie crust that you or anyone else may have been eating. So again, we're looking at the numbers, then it's better than it was. We're not looking for perfection. We're just looking for some really valid progress. And it's like anything else, you don't have to be vegan to work with me. Most of the clients I work with are not vegan or even vegetarian. They're eating, non-plant-based options. They're eating meat, chicken, fish, turkey, and things like that. So when you are transitioning, a lot of times these individuals come to me and they want to eat less of that. And I listen to what they share with me and I guide them in the direction they want to go because I'm here to align with your vision. I'm not here to align you with mine,
Right.
right? My vision for you is only that you feel better and really feel like you're aging in reverse time. That's my vision for you. How we get you there is your choice, and how quick you want to get there is also your choice. But I will hold space for you for what's possible.
Yeah, and let me tell everybody, Joyce has worked with me, and if you haven't sensed, I'm stubborn, pig-headed people that anybody would ever meet, but she asked me what my breakfast consisted of, and typically it was a sausage and cheese sandwich. It was easy and quick, and I could go do that. And she patiently listened to me and didn't make a face in days, and she suggested, couldn't you shift that to possibly grilled chicken and avocado?
No, I didn't say grilled chicken and avocado.
Well, that's what we
How'd you do
did.
it?
That's what we did.
No, it was avocado toast.
Oh yeah, but I heard grilled chicken and
All right, we'll talk
avocado.
after this segment and circle back.
So I did shift to grilled chicken and avocado, and that's what I heard because that's probably what I wanted to hear. And it's made a dramatic difference because the avocado is a nice way to start the morning, and I got rid of all those nitrates, all those salts, and it's been remarkable. And the way I judge it is at 11:30 in the morning, 4 hours after breakfast, how I feel, how much energy I have, how much clarity of thought. And people out there may think that my clarity of thought is questionable, but it's better.
Here's a great example, Justin, of what I mean when I say any shift is a healthier shift. Because here's the truth, all right? What you were eating before was obviously not ideal, right?
Yeah, not even close.
And in my world of proper food combinations, a protein and a fat together are going to create a lot of gas. But here's the beauty of it. What you were doing before was actually worse than what you're doing now and less favorable. So the fact that what you're doing now in my world is, of course, like not optimum. If we wanted to make it a little better, we'd probably just do the avocado toast or do chicken with veggies, which for a lot of people at 11 in the morning might seem odd, but you wake up really early. So maybe that's your lunch. the truth is that that's better than you were doing before. So it's enough of a step up for you to feel better energy.
Ex-
So good on ya.
well, no, exactly. And I could tell. And maybe that's what I'm telling people. Ha- Baby steps, baby steps, baby steps. It's overused a lot, but I think people can actually start to see results. And they don't have to contact Joyce. They can just listen to this, and once they start to get some results, then they might
Yeah.
consider boarding and contacting her. And Joyce, remind people of the initial call if they call you.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a great point. Yeah, maybe take some steps first, see if any of this stuff works for you. And then if it does, we can go a little deeper. That's the whole point of having a coach. It's like, yeah, you can get some great support this way that's at no cost, but that's also going to lead you to a no cost call when you really are ready to take those next steps. So I do offer that. It's a 30-minute discovery call so that you can share with me what your current struggles are and what the obstacles are that are currently getting in the way of you reaching the health goals that you have, what that vision looks like. And then I'll just share a very simple step-by-step plan that will help you to experience the health of your dreams. It's that simple.
Well, and it's we've it's really come in handy. Keep us on point, keep us reminding us of our goals and things like that. So, Joyce, let's wrap this up. This has been Justin Case and Joyce Rockwood getting after power. Thanks for joining us. Remember, free gifts, additional information, and links are provided in this video's read more. Please be sure to subscribe to this channel and to stay connected. Please connect with Joyce in the links below so you can learn some healthy revelations and how not to go bananas. Comments, and we'll get Joyce back here to answer them all for you. Thank you all.